What's going on, guys? Welcome along to Arsenal Fan TV. It's a home fixture for Arsenal this Saturday against Fulham, and you honestly have to say in this one it should be nothing less than 3 points going our way. Fulham, of course, have been massively underachieving this season, and quite frankly they've been absolutely diabolical. You look at them and you think that they've brought some pretty good players in over summer. Adel Taarabt, bringing him in, you think he'd be a top talented player. I know he's done very well with QPR in previous seasons, but he hasn't really made an impact at Fulham. Scott Parker, I actually think he was a decent purchase from Tottenham, where he wasn't going to get much game time. He's now playing regularly, week in, week out for Fulham, and he always looks dedicated to the club. He looks like he always puts his best efforts in. But what I notice about him is, not just for Scott Parker, but the Fulham side in general, they've got a lot of ageing and depleting players. They're not buying players that are going to peak at any time. They're buying players that, if anything, are getting worse in their careers. And with all respect to Fulham, I mean, I think they're a decent team. They've got some very good players in that squad. And certainly last season, I would have looked at them, I would have thought Fulham at home, this is certainly going to be a tough game. It'll be tough to get all 3 points. But this Arsenal team, it really should be, throwing Fulham aside, really. I remember when we drew 3-3 with Fulham last season. I mean, to concede 3 goals to Fulham, that is unheard of now for this Arsenal side. But if I look at Fulham players individually, another player that I also think is pretty decent for them, Stekelenburg, but then again, he hasn't really got the defence in front of him to help him out. And, Fulham played Norwich the other day. I actually watched that game and they looked very confident in that one. They played extremely well and they got 3 goals past. It wasn't a great Norwich side, but nonetheless, I still think they're going to go into this game with a little bit of confidence, a little bit of belief. But, you've got to remember, this is also a side that conceded 6 goals to Hull. So, a lot of questions can be raised about Fulham. I mean, their star player, Dimitar Berbatov, who they brought in last season, looks so unmotivated. I know a lot of Fulham fans want him out of the club, and I know he's linked with Arsenal at the moment. I'm not sure if I'd want him at us, but he just looks lazy. He looks a bit cocky at times, and he's just not doing what he should be doing. I dread to think how much money he's on, considering that he's doing very little for the club. And I think one factor for Fulham that has had a massive impact on them this season is that they've lost Brede Hangeland for a majority of the campaign. And he's the guy that really makes them tick. And you notice when he came back against Norwich, I don't think he had his best of games, but they looked a bit more motivated when he was in the team. He's that leader figure, that authority figure they need. And all in all, he's a very good defender. So it's just kind of typical that he comes back straight when we're going to play Fulham. So their defence is going to be much harder to penetrate now. If I'm trying to pick a star man for them, I'm probably going to go Kasami. He really impressed me in that game against Norwich. And if he can bring that kind of form into this game, he's certainly going to be a handful for our defence. He's an extremely talented player, fairly young too. But if you look at Arsenal at the moment, we're going into this game on the back of that, a great away win to Aston Villa. One thing that we can't do in this game is underestimate Fulham. I mean, any team will punish you if you underestimate them, if you sit back and you're too complacent, which I felt we definitely were in that second half against Villa. We can't do that. Even if we go into half-time 3 or 4 goals up, carry on pushing for more goals. I mean, I was watching the City game last night when they played Blackburn, and one thing you notice about them is that they're always going to strive to get more goals. And you think at 2 goals up, we kind of sit back. That's certainly something that we did against Villa. We can't afford to be doing that, not in this division. We've always got to get more goals. And I don't think it leaves us vulnerable anymore. I was reading a comment the other day that if we push too many men forward, it's going to leave us vulnerable. I honestly don't think it will. I mean, we've got Arteta or Flamini covering the defence, and then we've got Mertesacker and Koscielny back there. So, honestly, I'm not too worried about that. But on the brighter side of this game, Ramsey could be back for it. We're hopefully going to see Gibbs feature from the start. I think Rosicki's out for this one with his broken nose. I'm not too sure about that. Monreal, rumoured to have a broken metatarsal. I really hope it's not that, because he's been on splendid form for us recently in a couple of games he's had, and that's going to be a huge loss for us. But nonetheless, it's a bit. We should be able to see off this Fulham side really. So I'm going to go straight into my lineup: Szczesny, Sagna, Mertesacker, Koscielny, Gibbs, Arteta of course if he's back for this one, Wilshere, Gnabry, Ozil, Podolski, Giroud. Now, I've dropped Cazorla for this one. I don't think he had one of his best games against Aston Villa. It might be a case of him needing a rest. I also want Podolski to be given a chance on that left-hand side, not in that striking role, because I thought he was too quiet when he played there against Cardiff a couple of weeks ago. So give him that chance on the left-hand side. Then we'll be very dangerous on the flanks with Gnabry on the right and then Podolski on the left, Ozil through the middle. That is going to absolutely penetrate that Fulham defence. And linking up with Giroud, we should be able to score quite a few goals in this one. So My prediction for this one is 4-0 to Arsenal. Now, going away, we played against Villa. If we play like that, then it's probably only going to be 1 or 2-0. But we've got to get... I still think we've got to get the goal difference up. Man City have a huge goal difference, and yeah, it's going to be hard to catch that up. But, you know, we can at least give it a go. I mean, we've got to score as many goals as possible. If it comes down to goal difference at the end of the season, and we look back at games like this, then, you know, it's going to cost us. So a few goals in this one would do us some great justice. But anyway, leave your predictions for this game in the comments box below. If you have enjoyed the video, it would be great if you click the like button. Subscribe for more videos, and as always, thank you very much for watching, guys.